And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the not sports. We got to find a name for this, Frank.
Emergency video.
Kind of midweek emergency videos. I don't know. I mean, we did say we wanted to do it this week, but welcome to the video. We are going to react to the
Live
shit show, pretty much live, that's going on with we'll call it the Tom Wilson saga.
Yeah.
and what's happening with him and the Rangers. Brief kind of history of events. Was it last night of the original?
Two nights.
2 nights ago. Sorry, 2 nights ago. The New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals played. Scrum in front of the net. Wilson kind of falls onto Buchnevich. Which that in itself, there's not really a problem. Like
he fell on purpose.
I mean, he fell on purpose, but whatever, it happens all the time. That's not a big deal. What he then did was with his stick under Buchnevich's neck, pretty much punched him in the back of the head. So could have caused a multitude of injuries there. And then from there, a huge scrum breaks out. Panarin kind of jumps on the back of Wilson, trying to get him off his guy. And then they kind of fight, but not really fight. Wilson drops his gloves, and Panarin loses his helmet.
Yeah.
And then Wilson grabs Panarin's hair and just tosses him to the ice, right? And then continues to ragdoll him basically with his jersey, which maybe if he had a helmet on, it might have been okay. Because the guy was jumping him from behind, but the guy's got no helmet on. He's super lucky. Like I know we can't show the footage. But super lucky that his shoulder hit the ice first before his head. Because if his head hits the ice first, especially with Wilson falling on top of him, I mean, his career is over. Like, I don't even think there's a question there. Like, we're talking about serious injury, whether it's a spinal injury or a concussion, kind of like similar to Mark Savard, where you're never coming back.
Yeah.
But 100%, that guy career was. I mean, right now he's already finished for the season. Right. There's only 5 games left. And the Rangers are not a playoff team, but still, that's a $10 million player, right? So we're gonna get to this later. That's a $10 million player. That's kind of BS. So then afterwards, what happened was that the New York Rangers, after the game,
put out a statement.
Go ahead.
They put out a statement, not too long ago after.
Yeah, so they put out a statement.
That was after the next day.
It was the next day because Wilson didn't get suspended.
No, you got a $5,000
fine of $5,000, which was apparently the max allowable fine. I was talking to a friend of ours, and I said, I don't understand how $5,000 is the max allowable fine. And he's like, oh, I guess they just decide on the day, what is the max. I think the real thing is, depends on the action, like what the action of the person was. Yeah. I guess maybe it was just like a dangerous play. It's the maximum allowable fine for a dangerous play,
He was fined, if I'm not mistaken, he was fined for the punch to the head. And that's it.
Everything, on Buchnevich, and not actually the
everything afterwards. They said it was nothing. He didn't break any rules.
Yeah,
which to me is totally bullshit.
Okay, it's a scrum. Fine, I understand. It happens all the time, but you do not consciously take a guy's hair. First of all, who's pulling people's hair in the NHL? Are you a baby? Like, no.
Real tough guy.
Pulling people's hair. Like, come on. And so basically, here I'll share this Rangers tweet because it's here and I'm allowed to show this part at least. So basically, for those of you who maybe can't see the screen or you're listening to us instead of watching us, basically it says the New York Rangers are extremely disappointed that Capitals forward Tom Wilson was not suspended for his horrifying act of violence last night at Madison Square Garden. Wilson is a repeat offender with a long history of these types of acts, and we find it shocking that the NHL and the Department of Player Safety failed to take the appropriate action and suspend him indefinitely. Wilson's dangerous and reckless actions caused an injury to Artemi Panarin that will prevent him from playing again this season. We view this as a dereliction of duty by NHL head of player safety George Parros and believe he is unfit to continue in his current role.
Well, they called him out. That's literally calling out the NHL.
Yeah.
Good for the Rangers for calling out the NHL. And this is coming from the owner of the Rangers, and it has nothing. And this is why I think a lot of rumors are going around saying that the GM and the president were fired today, like literally a couple of hours before their game.
Yeah.
Because they weren't on the same page as their owner.
The official statement is that it had nothing to do with it. That's what the people are saying. I had nothing to do with
I
it.
don't.
But
I don't agree with that.
I obviously agree with you in the sense that what they've done with this team, a couple of years ago they put out a letter saying, "Hey, we're
Yeah,
not
we're
going to playoffs
rebuilding.
anytime soon. We're
We're
rebuilding.
rebuilding. Yeah.
We're going to come back stronger. This and that, whatever." In a matter of 2.5 years, this
Yeah.
team looks like next year with some good development and maybe adding a couple extra pieces is a playoff team.
Yeah.
You're looking at Adam Fox, which is
Norris.
right now. I mean, he's
I think he deserves it.
I mean, he's up there at least in contention for the Norris. I mean, just the amount of points he's putting up, and he's not atrocious defensively, which usually happens with players that are really good on offense. But I digress. That's not the point of the video. Basically, the GM and the president were fired for not agreeing with their owner, who already has a history of getting into
Yeah, he does have.
terrible situations with the NBA
Yeah,
and so on and so forth.
but I don't blame it in this instance.
No, I mean, in this situation, I think he's right.
He's protecting his top player. Like this, imagine this was like us Montreal. Like they would have Wilson would have done this Cole Caulfield or Suzuki or
Yeah.
they took a run at Carey Price. Like I expect Molson to come out and say like, what the hell is this? This is unacceptable from the league. He should be suspended. Like I'm calling it to their head.
Especially a player like Wilson, right? So
Yeah.
it happened with Kreider, and personally, I think that Kreider's. This is with Price. I mean, back in the day when he ran into Price, people said it was an accident, this and that, whatever. But there's plenty of video showing that Kreider does this multiple times, skates up into goalies, including Marc-Andre Fleury and I believe Devin Dubnyk as well. Almost injured both of them. So for me, even that was like I would have said something because it wasn't the first time that it had happened, and it definitely isn't the last since it happened. So imagine a guy like Tom Wilson who's got like 10 times the reputation that
he has over like 20 games of suspension.
yeah, easily. Here, I'll show it here because I know we tweeted it today. For those of you wondering where I'm getting most of our tweets, it is from our own account. We retweet and we kind of
went off.
we keep everybody kind of up to date. I mean, look, this is just repeated.
The 14 games and the 14 games was originally 20.
Was originally a 20 or even a 25.
In the 20, it was in the 20s.
It was in the 20s, yeah. And so this one, illegal check that had twice, and then boarding twice. We're talking about a guy that okay, fine. There's a 3-year period in between. But I mean, that in between here there was some issues. At the beginning of the year, our very first episode, he fought someone, I believe, because there was some situation that was going on with Washington and I believe it was Boston at the time. So it's not the first time that this guy's in a shitty situation or he puts himself in a situation.
It was March 5th when he hit Brandon Carlo in the head.
Exactly.
And then he had to answer.
That's what it was. And so you're talking about a guy that multiple times, year after year, is just handling shit horribly and making stupid decisions. Now, without keeping this video too long, I know you want to explain some of your favorite tweets, especially from George Larac. So I'll let you explain.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain this one, just kind of our reaction to it.
Yeah, it was freaking hilarious when I saw this morning. George Larac comes out and he tweets at the Rangers and he's like, give me a 1-game contract and I'll take care of it. And he tags Tom Wilson. I found this so funny.
I mean,
this is what it came down to. Like an ex-fighter that literally his job was just to fight, and he comes on and he's like, "This is when you know it's not acceptable."
Hey! George Larac scored a hat trick when he played in St. Louis.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know many fighters who score hat tricks. No, but in all honesty, you're right. You're right. I mean, for the fact that he came out, who did you say? Sean Avery as well.
Sean Avery, John Scott. Like, come on, John Scott who jumped Phil Kessel.
Even
I think he knows a little too about.
Even Matt Cook apparently did an interview as well. So we're talking about 4 guys that are known for fighting or playing dirty in some way or another, or getting advantage or being suspended, whatever it is. If they're coming out and saying, "Hey, this is not acceptable anymore," then you know that it's kind of it's gotten to a point where it's serious, and that's kind of disappointing because George Parros was one of those guys, right?
Yeah. So I think like what I'm pissed off is like he should know better because he was one of those guys. He kind of he didn't play like Tom Wilson, where he was he's a good player. Wilson, I love how he plays, but when he does stuff like this, it's just stupid, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think
it's avoidable. The thing is, it's avoidable on almost every day, and it's just I don't know. There's no reason for it.
I can't understand how Peros cannot, like, I don't know how he can understand, like, how's this not fine? Like, how's this not okay? And how's this just $5,000? Like, I just don't understand. And the thing, the yeah, I was just about to get there.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Like the thing that's the sad is there's two sad things about that happened like today
Today, yeah.
was that Oshie was his first game back since his father passed away. He scored a hat trick, and sadly, no one's gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
That
All they're going to talk about is 6 fights in 4 minutes, and
yeah,
Tom
they're
Wilson
gonna
and
talk about
whatever.
this is amazing and what, oh my god, I love there was before a guy tweeted
and
back
lost in all of it, like you said, is the fact that there's a guy who just
and
came back.
look how emotional the like TJ Oshie is. Like this is like it's tough for him, man. He just lost his father not a couple of days ago, comes back and he scores 3 goals, and this means a lot to him. And but sadly, like no one's gonna like really talk about this, the media, because we're all gonna be focused about 6 fights in the first 5 minutes, 100 penalty minutes in the first 5 minutes, and it's sad. It's sad to see that someone tweeted at us saying that this is the way that the league is going to, and this is the way we should like grow the league.
That was on this one, I believe. Yeah. I gotta find it.
I don't remember which one it was on. He literally told me that a lot of people, like a lot of non-hockey fans, tuned in to watch this game, and this is how to grow the league. And I literally answered back to him. I'm like, so fighting is literally the answer to grow the league. But a star like Connor McDavid, you should not show him off when he scores these highlight reels. Yeah. I literally was so frustrated. I'm like, it shows that you don't watch a lot of hockey, because that's not what hockey is.
I can't find it, but here's basically Mantha going after Buchnevich, who was the victim of there's no reason for doing this.
Come on.
Like what are you doing?
This is Mantha wanting to fight.
They're love taps, sure, but like, come on.
Yeah, but that's him.
And then you get a reaction. So I mean,
no, he deserves that. No, he deserves that. I'm good for.
And again, I don't want to show it too often before we get kind of clipped here, but again, that's what happens when you don't take proper action.
All like they said, all like the hockey analysts, they said all this could have been avoided if Tom Wilson was suspended. You would have seen a little bit of rough stuff. Gloves would have been dropped.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have seen 100 penalty minutes in the first 5 minutes.
No.
Buchnevich would have never cross-checked him into the face.
No, because I mean, you're talking about somebody who's actually paying some type of price. I mean, listen, $5,000 is something like paying the equivalent of a $45 fine or something like that. If you're an athlete,
even though he's not making $12 million a season,
it's irrelevant. The point is, he's taking out a guy who's $12 million a season, and so for the league, I think Artemi Panarin is a little bit more important to the NHL than Tom Wilson is.
Oh yeah,
100%. in terms of a marketing perspective, and in terms of what this guy can do with the puck and without the puck, and just how he is as a phenomenal player. So to me, it's kind of just kind of a disappointing way to kind of end this season. Which already, we've talked about the refereeing this year.
Yeah, it's been very
plenty of times, but
now we're gonna add this on top of it. So I just want to see what the NHL has to say, because they haven't come out with any statement the last 2 days, and I want to see what they're gonna have to say tomorrow. If they don't say nothing, like this is gonna really like shock me.
I can't see how and really again, if you think about it, the Capitals and the Rangers weren't playing each other this year for the rest of the year, right? This was the last game.
Are you sure? I think there's one more.
No, there's no more game.
No more.
Yeah.
Well, next season, I can bet you.
So that's why, like, it could have at least been okay. A fight next season, one fight, and that would have been it. Tom Wilson fights someone from the Rangers, whatever.
Yeah.
But instead, you have kind of buffoonery, if you want to use, because
I call it 90s.
I just don't think it's good for the game, and yeah, listen. What I had said was, if I was the Rangers tonight, basically what I would have done, which maybe they were planning on doing, but for those of you who didn't watch the game or didn't hear it, whatever, Wilson got pulled out of the game by his coaches or by whatever, because apparently he had an upper body injury. I think it was just a matter of like keeping him out of the game, otherwise shit was going to get unbelievable. And really, basically what I was saying is, if he would play the whole game, just every time he hits the ice, I'm dropping the gloves. I don't care if you're ready or not. I'm dropping the gloves and I'm hitting you as hard as I can, as many times as I can.
Yeah.
I'll take a game suspension. My season's over. I'm not a playoff team. I don't give a shit, really. You know,
Yeah.
so every single time he'd get on the ice, I would do it. It doesn't. It wouldn't have hurt anybody. And you know what? By the third or fourth, maybe he is bigger than everybody on the Rangers. But by the third, fourth, fifth fight,
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
can
get
guarantee you that guy's going to be tired.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like,
so
he's
you know,
like you knew how I played, like how I played hockey. I was like, I used to fight anybody. I didn't care, right? So I was just like, ah, fuck. If I was there, man, I would have probably jumped the bench. Ah, no, okay, I would have jumped off the ice.
granted, we're both a foot shorter than the guy, but you know.
Nah, I don't give a shit. I would have jumped him. Just be, god damn it, man.
It's just it's the point is it's sad to see, and you know, I think it's a failure from the NHL, the NHLPA, even to protect its own players.
Big failure.
And the Department of Player Safety. I don't even know why it's called that anymore, to be honest. But anyway, listen, that's kind of our reaction to it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
A little 20-minute video midweek. It's you know, ain't gonna hurt anybody, and we'll probably see you again
This week. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.